Sunday, hush your mouth, talking all that noise. You can hate all you want, but we still them boys. Dirty, dirty D, Texas where we stay at. We decide in order till you know that's where we play at. Hey, this year, this the payback. Yeah, we them Cowboys, and nah, we don't play that. Work, this is Cowboy Nation. Work, welcome to Cowboy Nation. Work, y'all can keep on hate. Work.
Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation. This is Defending the Boys, and this week's 53-man projection is brought to you by the Car Wreck Attorneys at 1-833-OHIM-HIT. Again, that's 1-833-OHIM-HIT, 1-833-644-6448. If you ever hurt in a car accident, please call 1-833-OHIM-HIT. They are also the sponsors to our very first Cowboys watch party, Hillside Social in Cedar Hill, Texas. Come hang out with your boy. Come watch the boys. Let's talk a lot of noise as the Cowboys, but I can't say kick. You get what I'm trying to say. The Cowboys are going to win against Philadelphia, okay? Come out and, help us to celebrate that win. We're going to talk about the 53-man projection. I can guarantee you that I have some stuff on here that you do not agree with. And that's okay. It's all right. It's okay. This is my projection. This is what I'm thinking. And I'm going to explain to you why I believe it. Some of them are easy. Some of them are not so easy. And it bees that way sometimes, right? So, hey, I just want to give you an opportunity right now before we really get into it to go and hit the subscribe button. Go and hit the like button. Let me know that you're watching, that you like it. Or that you don't like it. It's okay. You can hit the don't like button. I'm a Cowboys fan. Clearly, we have people that don't like what we have to say. So it's just fine for you to be able to hit that button. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to start off with my quarterbacks, and I only have two on here. And I know you're thinking, hey, they got to keep a third one on there. Yes, I do believe eventually they're going to bring back in Will Greer. I think that he's a vetted a veteran, and they're going to have an opportunity to probably work out a deal with him to where they're going to bring him back, is what I see them doing, bringing him back in after they get everybody on the team that they need to be on the team, similar to what they do every year with like C.J. Goodwin. I think they did it one year to Cooper Rush, if I'm not mistaken as well. So I think that's going to be a situation here. So on that initial 53-man roster, I believe that we are going to be just having two quarterbacks on there, Dak Prescott and Joe Milton. Now, one of the things that we really want to talk about, everybody really wants to get into it, and that is the running backs. And you'll see here that I only have 4 running backs. I have Javonte Williams, I have Jadon Blue, Phil Maffa, and of course Hunter Lipke. Now I think Hunter Lipke also can go back and forth between that fullback and that tight end position. However, I really believe that we would have wanted in this situation, we really would have wanted to go heavy at running back. And I think the thing that's going to keep them from being able to go heavy at running back, I think that's going to be the fact that they have to go heavy at cornerback. Now, I know everybody's, they're happy Trayvon Diggs is back. I'm happy Trayvon Diggs is back. We really needed to have him back. However, for week 1, even with only 11 days, I don't see him starting full time. I can't see him playing the entire game, just now coming back with only about 11 days to really get himself together. So I kind of feel like, and Shotty kind of alluded to this when he said we'll probably have to have him on a pitch count if he does play in the first game. Because of that, you need some depth at the cornerback position. So in my opinion, you're going to have to go heavy at cornerback to begin with. And if you go heavy at cornerback, it's really going to take away from somewhere. I think in this situation, it's going to take away from the running back position. Shadi also said that there's going to be some surprises And I think Miles Sanders is that surprise cut. I think that he's seen enough from his rookies, the guys that he picked. You got to keep Phil Maffa. I don't know what else to say. Like, you have to keep Phil Maffa. The boy was running. He ran strong. When you have, Javonte Williams obviously is a good running back, but he needs spells, and sometimes he's going to need spells in areas where you need to be able to get short yardage. Phil Maffa showed good vision. He was an overall very, very, very good running back. I honestly see him, even after Javonte Williams moves on after this year. I see Phil Maffa being able to hold down the running back positions, where our running backs of the future really are Phil Maffa and Jadon Blue moving into 2026 and years beyond. So I'm very excited about what the youngster has. I just don't believe that they'll be able to keep Phil Maffa and Miles Sanders. And I believe that Shotty in this situation is going to say, look, we're going to have to let one of the veterans go. We'll keep Javonte Williams, but we got to keep the guys that we brought in. It would be really hard to cut them. Now, I know some people are thinking, let him go through waivers, put him on the practice squad. I'm not sure if you want to take that chance with Phil Maffa. I don't think that's who you want to take the chance with. I honestly think, again, a veteran in Miles Sanders, that you have a better chance of putting him on the practice squad in the beginning and being able to utilize him because, again, I know that you would want to go heavy. Deuce Vaughn is the guy that's out here. Unfortunately, I was a Deuce Vaughn fan. I played football at TCU, so I watched TCU, and I watched what Deuce Vaughn did to TCU his senior year out at AT&T Stadium. So I've seen firsthand that young man can run. I just don't think in this situation there's room for him. And if you feel bad for anybody, I'm talking about anybody on this roster, I feel bad for Malik Davis. Malik Davis is amazing. He continues to be amazing. Every time he gets a chance, I'm talking about regular season, preseason, it doesn't matter. He gets a chance, he shows out, and there's never enough room for Malik Davis because you got an old Zeke on the team, or you got too many of this, or in this situation, you got two rookies who you're trying to find space for. I feel bad, honestly feel bad for Malik Davis in this situation. And I really hope that he finds a spot somewhere, and hopefully even on the Cowboys, maybe practice squad. He's good even in special teams. He made a big tackle in special teams in the third game. He does everything that he needs to do to make the team, and yet it's difficult for him to make the team every single time. Let's keep moving, though. We're going to move on to our wide receivers. Of course, CeeDee Lamb is going to be there. Of course, George Pickens is going to be there. Of course, Cavante Turpin is going to be there. I have Jalen Tolbert and Ryan Flournoy. I know that, we're going to have some injury reserve. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. We're going to have some injury reserve when it comes to Mingo, and everybody is looking for Trayshawn Holden. I do believe that Trayshawn Holden could make this team. I really do believe that would be. I tried everything that I could to look at going 6 deep at wide receiver, but some of the position needs that we needed elsewhere just didn't allow for me to do that. Kind of what we talked about with running back. You'd love to be able to keep and go heavy at the running back position, the same way you would at the wide receivers position, but I just feel like you needed that depth at cornerback more, and that left me here with our receivers. We have an opportunity here, guys, for this to be the most dynamic wide receiver group in the NFL. I'm talking about the opportunity to put George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, and Cavante Turpin on the field at the same time with Fergie Baby in the middle and Jadon Blue and Javonte Williams and company in the backfield. This is going to be an explosive offense. And I've gone and I've looked at the numbers, and I did a video on Matt Eberflus and what his history of being a defensive coordinator is. I need to do one on Shotty because I think you'd be surprised. Shotty's that dude when it comes to calling offensive plays. And we've seen it here in Dallas when he kind of had been able to put his stamp on things. Unfortunately, the last coach didn't want that to continue because he had his own idea about how he wanted to run the offense. And that didn't work out for him. Unfortunately, I feel like it didn't work out for him because of injuries, but that's neither here nor there. I can say the Shotty's going to have some fun with the characters that he has. So again, when it comes to wide receivers, being able to keep 5 is what I have on the list. And these are the 5 that I actually have. Now we want to move on continuously, still on the offense. We're talking about tight ends. And for tight ends, I have Jake Ferguson, Luke Schoonmaker, and Brevin Spann-Ford. I thought about going heavy with Fant. Again, he has an opportunity to make it, and there's probably, oh my goodness, 2 other tight ends that could easily make it. But I think with Lipke on the field, this may be the one that I'm wrong, honestly. They may actually keep 4 tight ends. I'm not sure if they will or if they can, but they may actually try to go heavy on the tight ends because we're going to run a lot of 2 tight end packages. My thought process here was really simple. We're going to have Hunter Lipke. He's going to be able to be the 4th tight end as well as the fullback. Part of the reason why you're keeping, Phil Maffa in this situation is because now you can actually go heavy with 2 tight ends and 2 big backs if you wanted to. So, and that's kind of what I was thinking about as far as why I did not keep 4 tight ends on the squad this year for the 53-man roster. So keeping it moving on to our offensive line. Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker, Terrence Steele. Those are going to be our starters. I have Nate Thomas, Hakeem Adeniji, Brock Hoffman, and TJ Bass. Behind them, I'm pretty confident that the offensive line is going to be okay. I don't know about great, but I think they're going to be okay. When I say I don't know about great, let me just clear up the fact that I'm saying I don't know about great throughout all 17 games, meaning that I don't know if our backups are exactly great. But I do think that even our backups can fill in, do what they got to do. We have, guys. I kind of wish they would have kept La'el Collins because to me, he's one of those guys who's going to fill in at a high level. I feel like they didn't give him a chance. They brought him in. I don't know why they brought him in. Maybe it was a favor to Dak or whatever the case was. He looked good. I mean, they only put him in against 3rd string, and he clearly whooped 3rd string boys. He was out there just throwing his strength and weight and knowledge around on the football field, and it seems like they just didn't give La'el Collins that opportunity. Maybe – hopefully he stays in shape. They'll bring him back in if they actually ever need him in a situation, if he is available. I'm not sure. But for the guys that I do feel like we'll be able to keep, I think we'll be all right with that. So that's our offense. That's what I have so far for the offense. We're going to move over to our defense. And I'm starting with defensive tackles. And for defensive tackles, Osa Odigizua, Solomon Thomas, Perion Winfrey, Mozzie Smith. Yes, I still have Mozzie Smith making the team, and Jay Toia. I purposely didn't put Mozzie Smith up front because I do not believe that Mozzie Smith is going to be a starter. I feel like that Osa Odigizua and Solomon Thomas are going to be the starter. Perion Winfrey, Mozzie Smith are going to be the guys. And when they need to be in goal line, they'll try to put Mozzie and Jay Toia on the field, 2 big guys in the middle to try to, stop the run on short yardage and goal line type situations. I think that'll get us where we need to be. From defensive end standpoint, staying on that defensive line, Micah Parsons, still feel like that's coming soon. We do have Dante Fowler, Marshawn Nealon, Donovan Ezeraku, Sam Williams, and I had to keep James Houston, and we talked about James Houston or Peyton. I didn't know which one that they were going to keep, and I sincerely hope that they keep James Houston because he showed up on the run. He showed up in the pass. He made splash plays, and if there is a such thing as earning a roster spot in preseason, I think James Houston would be the poster child for that. I think James Houston had earned his spot because he showed up game in and game out in the preseason. All 3 games, they made you say, man, who is James Houston? I think he was very consistent when he did it, and I think it would be really hard for Brian Schottenheimer to stand up and say, hey, we're going to put the best players on the field and then not keep James Houston. He was, from all of the players that you played in the offseason, easily one of the best players on our defense. Again, I'm only talking about the guys that played in preseason, so I'm not talking about the Micahs and the Dantes and different people like that. I'm just simply saying from the ones who actually played consistently in preseason, James Houston stood out as one of the best on the defense of side of the ball. So moving on to our linebackers, Kenneth Murray, Jack Sanborn, Maris Louisville. Did I spell that right? I did. Okay. Damone Clark and Shamar James. I think that our linebacker crew, we've had this conversation. I feel like our linebacker crew is going to be one of those things that Eberflus continuously has his fingerprint on, right? And that's going to be the reason that we stop the run. Not necessarily because we have big boys in the middle, but because there is a system in place where they do what they have to do. They get upfield, the defensive line gets upfield, causes distractions, and those linebackers understand what it takes to fill holes. I think we got guys that can do it, and we have a coach that can teach it. I am still very confident in a situation to where we're doing okay. And the good thing to me is that we don't have to be the best defense in the league. It would be great to have the best defense in the league. The same way it'd be great to have the best offense in the league. I feel like we're going to score 30 points a game. I said this beforehand. And I'm not even talking about our offense scoring touchdowns every time that they touch the ball. I'm simply saying that I feel like we're going to at least cross the midfield and be able to kick field goals on a lot of our drives. We're going to have big explosive plays. We're going to score touchdowns. And the defense is going to need to keep people under 30. I feel like that's a doable situation. And that doesn't mean that you can win Super Bowls like that, but it does mean that you win football games and you make it to the playoffs like that. And I do feel like Eberflus's defense will eventually get to the point to where they are a force to be reckoned with. How long that actually takes with the amount of defensive coordinators that we've had over the last 3 years, it may take a little bit to really get into the swing of how the defense really works. But I do believe that eventually it actually gets there. We're going to keep moving on to the safeties: Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson, Marquise Bell, Wanye Thomas. I don't believe there's a whole lot to talk about there. I will say that when you get to the corners, which is what we're going to go to next, you'll see that Israel Mukuamu, in my opinion, actually makes the team. We do go heavy at corner. This is kind of what I was thinking. Trayvon Diggs, Deron Bland, Kyer Elam, Zion Childress, Keelan Hall, Kalen Carson, of course, Israel Mukuamu. Israel can also play a little bit of safety. I think that he's kind of earned his position simply because he has some flexibility to be able to go between the two positions. I'm still scared that they're going to keep Andrew Booth instead of Kalen Carson or instead of Keelan Hall. I feel like Zion Childress is a must-have, and I do mean a must-have in the cornerback room. I think that he's going to eventually be one of those standout guys the way, Deron Bland was when he just came out of seemed like nowhere playing ball. This guy is a football player. He's a pure machine in the backfield, and I feel like we need to have him. Moving on to our final, which is special teams. Brandon Aubrey, maybe one of the best players that we have on the team, is our kicker. That could be a bad thing, except for he's that good. Brian Anger, obviously our punter. Trent C is the long snapper. So there we actually have it, guys. I feel like that is where our 53-man roster actually ends up. If you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. Either way, this is Defending the Boys, brought to you by the Car Wreck Attorneys at 1833